What is going on, my game design gurus, and welcome to the Level Design Lobby. Happy New Year, gurus! Hope you're all doing well and you had a great time in the holidays with your family and friends. And I had a great New Year, and what a way to bring in the New Year while listening to this smooth jazz voice. Great way to start 2018. But poor jokes aside, hope everything's going well for you, and it's the start of a great new year for you and for your games, what you're making, what you want to make, and what you want to play. So I think it's going to be a great year for games, because 2017 was a phenomenal year, and now to be in 2018, in my opinion, it can only get better. So, to start off, I thought I'd do another reading list for you all. So I'm going to be bringing you a few of my top 5 of the start of the year, I guess, which you guys and girls should check out, and I'll be telling you why briefly. I kind of went a bit overboard with doing these reading materials in my mass recording, so I thought I'd do one more, and the final one for you all to enjoy, and start the year off fast with the Level Design Lobby. Let's get to number 1. So this one is a article on Gamasutra called Postmortem Making Boss 101 and Living Our Dream. And this is a postmortem on the game Boss 101, but it's also a postmortem on the developer's time becoming full-time indie and how he found the adventure of going from working as a AAA developer to an indie developer, and what his big takeaways were from the event overall, what he'd learned, and also trying to start up a conversation on what other people have learned. I think it's a great one for people who want to get into indie or understand the risk and rewards of being an indie developer, because it's not always how you think it is, and for every Cuphead, there is normally quite a lot of other games which sadly don't succeed, which is a real shame, as we are aware of. So yes, this goes on and breaks a few things down, and I really enjoyed it. I think there's a lot of things that I wasn't aware of, because I was indie development for short, but I did have some funding, so I didn't go through a lot of the struggles that most indies go for, and because mine was only a 4 to 5 month development, it wasn't as long or as stressful as I know some others could be. So I recommend go checking out. I enjoyed it, and I think the game looks pretty cool as well. You can go check that out on Steam, but that will be in the link below, like all of the other articles. So now, moving on to number 2. We have Make Me Think and Make Me Move, chatting about the latest Doom's sort of simple design and how they make the player move into a more fast-paced, fast-action shooter compared to some of the more sit tight, pace and wait shooters like Call of Duty, and how it pushes the player along with the combat. So this is a great one. It's an interview with the designers of Doom, the new one, 2016 version, and it was definitely one of those games which I was super impressed by. The whole loop of their combat, the combat core loop, is incredible. I think it's something that we could all, as developers, learn from, and how we make players move in a certain way if we want that feeling. So again, brilliant read. I recommend checking that out. And if you've played Doom, you know what I'm talking about with how fast-paced and exhilarating the action is, and it breaks down the science behind it, which I think is always the best thing to learn from. Now we're going to move on to Article 3. This one is the level design of Hob. This is on 80 level. Talks with Rick Leslie, who is one of the level designers on Hob, which was a indie game which you saw up on PlayStation, and how a lot of the levels were based on movement. And I don't mean your character moving, but the whole levels moving after you'd completed a task and the interaction behind it. So I think that was a really interesting one, because some of the best levels, in my opinion, was in DMC, the most recent one. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for saying that, but the way that the levels would move around you was always so amazing to me. And these guys do another sort of twist on that, which is fantastic. So I recommend checking that out. I'm a level designer, so it's always great to hear other LDs' thoughts and their opinions on what they think is a key thing to do when designing their levels. So go and check that out. It's a game that's kind of underrated as well, shall we say, because I don't know if I want to use the term underrated, but I don't know how well the sales were. I know people had heard of it, but as for how many people played, I was unsure. But it's worth checking out. I think it was for levels, it has some great ones, and it has a step-by-step process going from their paper design to the early white boxing to then the finished and polished product, which I think is always the best. Now, before we go on to the fourth and fifth recommendations, I just want to say, if you guys are always looking for level design tips, then come check out my Twitter, @MaxPairs. I'm constantly posting 2 to 3 level design tips and articles up every day, except weekends, because weekends are my days off. And I'm constantly trying to share like bite-sized chunks of level design or game design. So if you are looking for more quick, digestible sort of level design tips, then come over to @MaxPairs on Twitter, and you can see that, and you can communicate with me. That's the best way that I communicate with all you amazing gurus. So if you haven't already, do check out my Twitter. So now, let's move on to number 4, which is 5 amazing levels from 2017 by Game Maker's Toolkit. Now, as many of you know, I've mentioned the Game Maker's Toolkit in previous episodes. I'm sure many of you have already subscribed to it. So go check it out. There's some amazing stuff in there. But this one I thought was brilliant. Again, as a level designer, I'm always looking for the most interesting levels out there. And he breaks down some of the ones that I may have missed throughout the year. I haven't had a chance to play the latest Call of Duty, but this level he recommends that's within the top 5 of his opinion looks amazing and great from that. So I think there's a lot in there for level designs that you can take away and learn from. So go check that one out. And then we have the final one, which is a lovely book that I recommend, which is called Game Feel. Game Feel is a great book because it's covering an aspect that we don't always talk about. It's something we know about and something we have to do, but we don't always talk about it. And what I'm on about is the feeling of the controller. The feeling of how you move throughout the game. Is that core loop fun? Is jumping just exciting by itself as it is over a ledge? That sort of feedback loop you get from pressing a button to seeing the result on the screen. The signposting or telegraphing of an enemy when he or she takes a swing at you as the player, and are you able to read that to interpret what to do next? It's a great book, and it's a hidden gem. I've not heard many people talk about it. It might have sold better than I'm aware of, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'm currently just about to finish it up now, so I'm really enjoying that one and recommend that to you. If you have seen me on Twitter, I have posted a couple of its diagrams from in the book, which again is super cool. So that's going to be all from me. A bit of a short one there, guys, but while I'm recording this, I'm almost about ready to fly home for Christmas. But by the time you listen to this, it'll be our past New Year. So again, I hope you're having a great start to your new year, and yeah, let's just keep going. If you guys or girls have anything that you'd like me to check out, then please do tweet me @MaxPairs or email your thoughts and feedback to leveldesignlobby@gmail.com. All of this will be down below. And now if you're wondering, what should I do to start off this year? What is one of the things I should do to kick off 2018 to a great start? Well, allow me to give a suggestion. If you listen to this through iTunes, then please, please, please rate this podcast. 5-star would be amazing, but if you feel it's 4-star or something, then put that opinion across, because I'm always wanting to learn. But a review or comment on the medium that you're listening to would be awesome, because the more reviews I get, the more attention this podcast gets, which means the more of you there is to start sharing your own knowledge. We've had some amazing conversations, not just between me, but between some of you lot already on the YouTube comments or through Twitter, and that, to me, is one of the most important things, is because sometimes I'll miss stuff, and I am apologising and apologetic for it. But to see you guys answer one another, and there isn't no shit giving to one another. It's awesome. It's nice and refreshing, and that's what the Level Design Lobby is all about. A conversation between us and between you lot, because you guys are the gurus as well. I don't know the answer to everything, and I want to learn just as much as you all do. So yeah, if you can, leave a review on iTunes or the other podcast apps that you listen to, and if you're on YouTube or SoundCloud, then please subscribe, because the more of you, the merrier. So thank you all very, very much. Enjoy 2018. For January, I'm going to be going back to the normal schedule of one every 2 weeks. So it'll be 2 weeks from now that you hear from me. But it is a good one, and I'm excited for you guys to hear what's next. And there's some really awesome stuff coming out that I'm super excited for you to all hear. So guys, take it easy. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.